happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday, everybody, happy Monday. It's a wonderful Monday, marvelous Monday, magnificent Monday. Beautiful Monday. As you notice, I ran out of M's really quick. But I pray that you all are well. I pray that your families are well. I pray that you all are of sound mind. I pray that you all had a beautiful weekend. I pray that you started off this week with a lot of positive excitement, a lot of joy, a lot of rest, something that I'm definitely going to catch up on next week. So for those of you all who do not know me, my name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help professional women who lack clarity, focus, and fulfillment achieve self-discovery, self-awareness, and self-confidence. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So before I get into the content on today, let me just say this. Last week, I hosted the Mindset to Movement Summit, and let me tell y'all, it was absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying it because it was a summit that I hosted, but it was very rich. Every speaker provided transformational content. If for those of you all who have been following me for a while, you know that I'm really big on transformation. I believe that people have been motivated enough. And the difference between motivation and transformation is that motivation, I can push you, right? I can give you the words, get you excited, get you there, right? But after a while, motivation wears off. It needs to be something within you that will sustain and even add momentum to the motivation that you acquired. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and share this live with about 2 or 3 people. Just like the pastor says in church, I'm not going to be before you all long. I usually like to keep it nice and very simple. And tonight is one of those nights, as I am literally coming off of the Mindset to Movement Summit. My family and I had a wonderful weekend, but I didn't get as much rest and sleep as I wanted to. So tonight is going to be the night that I at least make that attempt to. So I want to ask you all the question of, do you know what it really truly means to be confident? I mean, how many of you all really want to have the boldness, have the confidence, have the bravery to really go for it, right? Put a 1 in the comments. If you know that there are some things that you want to do, whether it's a promotion, whether it's starting a business, whether it's taking your business to the next level, how many of us know, how many of you all know that the same mindset that you had some years ago when you started a thing, it takes a whole new and even greater mindset to actually up level and do something even bigger. Again, if you all do not know me, my name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and welcome to Transformational Mondays, where I provide you all with simple strategies to move forward in living a life that is full of transformation so that you can go out and achieve the very things that you know that you have been called to, right? So Transformational Mondays, for those of you all who are new to Transformational Mondays is all about, and it comes from the scripture that says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And when you look up transform simply means to change. This is one of the reasons why I said that people have been motivated enough. At some point, change has to occur to sustain the level of, or the motivation that you are receiving, right? Because if a person doesn't believe that they can truly do something, then of course they will not. So tonight I want to talk to you all about 3 questions that you must ask yourself. How many of you all really want to increase your confidence? Increasing your confidence to go for it, increasing your confidence to achieve bigger dreams. Because how many of you know, again, that where you are right now, there's a greater level? I don't know about y'all, but I know that where I am right now, there is more. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for what I have achieved. I'm grateful for all of the accomplishments. I'm grateful for my life. However, I know and I understand that this is just the beginning, right? This is not my end. This is just the beginning. So I want to share with you all 3 questions. And the reason why I want to share questions is instead of statements. The power in asking yourself the right questions. The Bible tells us to ask and we shall receive, right? And there is power. Whenever you ask a question, what comes usually after the question, or what is the expectation of what comes after you ask a question? It is an answer. So whenever you ask a question, you then open up yourself to receive feedback. You open up yourself to obtain answers, right? Because a lot of the times people do not get to where they desire in life all because they haven't asked themselves the right questions, or they haven't asked the right person the right questions. It's just like a GPS system. If you are traveling from point A to point B, if you do not submit or put in the actual, or the address or the correct location, you'll be led astray. But when you put in where you desire to go, right, then the likelihood of you getting to your destination increases. So this is all about you learning to ask yourself the right questions so that it will lead you to being confident. So what is self-confidence, right? What is confidence? When you look up the word confidence, because I'm big, really, really big on definitions. This is something that I embraced some years ago. And the reason why is because the Bible tells us, and I'm a believer in the Bible. So I'm a believer in Christ. So I base a lot of my foundational truth, which is the truth, on that, right? So the Bible tells us that in all of our getting to get understanding, that means that whatever I'm listening to, whomever I'm listening to, I need to obtain understanding. Whatever it is that I'm reading, right? Whatever it is that I am watching, your goal is to gain understanding. Why? Because when you understand, how many of you know that you can move differently? You can make better decisions when you understand, because when you understand something, that means you comprehend it. I comprehend that if I'm hot, right, I have an understanding that I can turn on a fan, that I can turn on an AC, right? I understand that as it pertains to my health, that if I understand that one of the root causes of, let's say, hypertension is excessive amounts of processed foods or high levels of sodium, then if I understand that, then I know that I need to eat less salt containing foods or use less salt when I'm preparing foods, right? So absolutely. So whenever you understand something, it gives you power. I want y'all to put power in the comments. When you understand something, it gives you power. It gives you the ability to make better decisions. It gives you the ability to do something better than you were before, right? So tonight I'm going to give you all 3 questions that you must ask yourself in order to increase your confidence. And why are we asking questions? Because when we ask, the expectation is for us to receive and obtain an answer. And when you get an answer, it gives you power to make better decisions. It gives you power to change your habits. It gives you power to shift your mindset. I always say the biggest difference between those who are succeeding in an area compared to those who are not succeeding in another area is the position of your mindset. Right? So question number 1 that you must ask yourself in order to increase your confidence. Let's rewind because I got ahead of myself. What does it mean? What does confidence mean? Right? So when you look up the word confidence in Hebrew, when you look it up, I believe it's in Webster, it means to trust. Right? I got so excited when I was studying this, right? Confidence means to trust, right? So here's the question. A lot of people are seeking confidence. They're saying, hey, I want to be confident. I want to be confident, right? But here's the question that you have to ask yourself. How do I trust myself? Or here's the other question. I haven't even gotten into the questions, but do I trust myself? And here's the other question. How is trust obtained? So I'm going to give you 3 ways that trust is obtained, and we're going to formulate that into a question. So first, we must understand that confident means to trust. And in order to develop trust, 3 things have to occur. And I have my sheet here to keep me focused, right? I want you all to think about a relationship, right? I want you, oh, great. I hope you all have subscribed to my channel. I'm glad that this is like great stuff to you, right? So I want you all to ask yourself this question. If you are in a relationship and you say that you trust this person, how did you develop trust in that person? I'll wait for a second. When you trust somebody, what are some ways that you developed trust in them? What caused you to trust in them? I'll wait to see what some feedback is for about 2 seconds. I promise y'all I'm not going to be long, for real. We're going to be done in under 30 minutes. We are at 11 minutes and 3 seconds. All right, it's slow on my end, so if you're typing, I'll look at the comments, right? So one of the ways that you develop trust is through relationship, right? And through relationship requires interaction. So one of the ways that you develop trust is by listening, right? Is by listening. Because when you listen to the person, you begin to learn what it is that they like, the things that they dislike, the things that they've gone through in life. You learn their love language. You learn how they communicate. You learn ways to push their buttons and ways not to push their buttons. So one of the ways, number 1, to develop trust is through listening. Number 2, the other way to develop trust is by providing support. Now we're going to put all of this back into perspective, and we're going to turn this back around to how do we develop confidence in ourselves. So number 1, the way that you develop confidence is to trust. Number 1, it requires you to listen. Number 2, it requires support. Why would you want to be in a relationship with anybody who does not support you? So I want you all to think about how powerful support is. Right now, I'm standing in our home on the floor, right? And I know and I trust that this flooring is strong enough to support me. If it wasn't able to support me, then it would increase the likelihood of me falling. It will cause me to hurt myself if I'm not supported on this platform that I'm standing on. So I want you to think about yourself in that way, right? And we're going to talk about the questions. The last thing is number 3, but there's a plethora of it. This is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing that, especially as women, we desire. I don't know about y'all, but we want people to be honest, right? Okay, let me speak for me because I don't know about y'all. Trust requires honesty. That's one of the biggest things is honesty. In order to build trust, you must be honest. You must tell the truth. So let's identify, and if you all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So the first question that you have to ask yourself, we said in order to build trust, it requires listening. Here's the question. Do you listen to yourself? We're talking about building confidence. And the only way that you can build confidence in yourself is that you have to be willing to listen to the things that you say to yourself. What conversations are you having? What are you saying to yourself about yourself? Are you paying attention to the conversations that are going on subconsciously in your head? Have you ever done something, right? And you knew you were like, okay, you're about to do something and you're like, something told you, which I believe is God, right? Something told you, oh, I knew I should have listened to myself. How many times have you not listened to yourself when you know you should have? So number 1, you have to ask yourself, do I really listen to myself? Am I listening to the internal conversations that I'm having? What is it that I'm saying to myself? And I know that this may sound weird, but we're talking about developing trust. This is what confidence is. Confidence is not put on like earrings or makeup. You know, we're really, really big, both men and women, right? Are really, really big about dressing the part of what we think confidence is. We can get our hair done, we can get a haircut, we can get lashes, we can get our nails done, we can get pedicures, and do not get it twisted. There's nothing wrong with looking nice. There's nothing wrong with providing yourself with the best presentation physically. But I always say this, work even harder on the internal part of you more than you do on the external part of you. Because there are a lot of people who look great on the outside. They dress the part, the hair is laid, the nails are done, the shoes are fire. But internally, they are dying. Internally, they are broken. So are you really listening to the conversations that you are having? One thing about me is that I'm very aware. I'm very self-aware. Why? Because I always tell my children this. You can't change nobody else, but baby, let me tell you somebody that you can change and control, and that is you. So if you really want to begin to build confidence in yourself, you have to listen. You have to listen to yourself. And if you don't like what you're hearing, when you listen to yourself, guess what? It positions you to change it. It positions you to do something different. And even if you don't know how, it gives you the power to say, you know what, let me find the answer, or someone who does. If y'all think this is good, make sure you click the link below and join me for my masterclass this Thursday. So number 2, the second question you should ask yourself is based on support. We agree that in order for trust to be built, in order for me to trust you or you to trust somebody else in a relationship, there has to be some level of support. So here's the question. Do you support yourself in the same way or even more so that you want people to support you? What does that look like, Dr. JaNee? Do you show up at your maximum level for yourself? Or do you show up for yourself with a defeated mindset, like you're going to lose even before you start? And if you show up defeated, if you doubt, no wonder you don't have confidence. No wonder you can't trust yourself, because you don't support you. You don't even believe in you. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she was telling me about a personal situation, and she talked about how she likened her situation to David and Goliath, right? And one of the things that I learned, and even in reading that story, and her and I were interacting concerning the story, and we talked about how confident David was, right? If you go and read the story, David was in posture and in physical appearance, David was significantly smaller in stature than Goliath. Goliath was gigantic, if you will, physically, but David was physically small. However, David's confidence in God, in who he served, and in himself and his ability was so much greater and bigger than this physical giant. David supported himself because he believed in himself. He believed in the abilities. He trusted himself. He knew, first of all, he had faith in who sent him, okay? But he knew once he showed up, all he had to do was show up and he was going to win the fight, right? He was sure of that, okay? So when you think about yourself, I want you to ask yourself, do I really show up for me? A lot of the times people are looking and searching for people to show up for them more so than they show up for themselves. They want people to believe in them when they don't believe in themselves. I want you to think about that for a minute. And I want you to ask yourself, do you really show up and support yourself? Whatever it is that you took your time to create, whatever it is that you have done, do you truly believe that you can achieve something? Do you cheer yourself on? Because let me tell y'all something. For the past couple of months, I have been doing sidebar. I have been doing planks, and I've worked my way up, y'all, to 60 seconds, a whole minute doing a plank. And if you have ever done planks before, planks are not easy, okay? One of the quickest ways to identify the stories or to identify whether you truly support yourself, do a plank. And I want you to listen and pay attention to the conversations that go on internally. One of the things that planks has done for me is that it has taught me to push myself. When I first started planks, I started at, what was it? Maybe about 15 seconds. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Initially, them were the longest 15 seconds ever. And then I built myself up to 20 seconds because I did what I felt comfortable, right? And then I increased it to 30 and then 45 seconds. And now I'm at 60 seconds. And let me tell y'all, the more time I extend, it's not easier. Okay, it's not easier. My arms go to shaking, my core goes to burning, like I start wobbling, especially when it gets to the end. But one of the things that I tell myself is I can do this. I will do this. I've learned to push myself. Even in spite of the physical discomfort that I have when I'm doing this pose. I have learned through doing planks how to cheer myself on, even in my life. I'm not expecting anybody else to do it. Sure, I am grateful when people support me and they encourage me and they push me along the way. And let me tell y'all, sometimes I need it. But I have learned that I have to be my biggest cheerleader. I learned that I have to show up for me even more so than I want other people to show up for me. How dare I expect other people to show up for me if I'm not showing up for me? So here's the question. Do you really show up for yourself? Do you really support yourself? Are you great at tearing yourself down more than you are at lifting yourself up? If you're tearing yourself down, no wonder you can't trust yourself. No wonder you lack confidence. Remember, trust is built. So it's going to require you to invest some time into yourself. Number 3, we said that in order to build trust, it requires listening, it requires providing support, and lastly, it requires being honest. So I want you to answer this question for yourself. In what areas am I not being honest with myself? To put it plainly, in what areas am I lying to myself? Think about how you feel when somebody lies to you, when they don't tell you the truth. You get upset, you get angry. If for some people, you ready to fight, right? But I want you to look at you for a moment, and I want you to ask yourself, am I really being honest with myself? Am I being honest about how I feel right now? Am I being honest about where I really want to go? Or am I lying to myself? If you're lying to yourself, how do you expect to build trust off of a faulty foundation? If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're always lying to you, that's a faulty foundation, right? We know that foundations provide stability and they should provide strength so that a structure can be built. You can have the greatest building in the world, but if you have a faulty foundation, a foundation that lacks strength, or a foundation that cannot support the physical infrastructure will not be able to stand on a weak foundation. So when you're talking about being in relationship with yourself, you have to be honest. You may not tell everybody all of your business, because I know I'm big on it. Everybody got to know my business. But guess what? JaNee gonna be honest with herself. Because I know, let me say this. There's a scripture that says the truth will make you free. And if you quote this, make sure you put Dr. JaNee on it. So if the truth will make you free, that means a lie will keep you in bondage. A lie will keep you shackled. A lie will keep you bound. You can't be free if you're not being honest with yourself. So I want you all to go back and I want you to ask yourself those 3 questions. We're going to go over them again. The first question is, am I truly listening to myself? This is how you build self-confidence. And it may sound weird because it's like, okay, but you have to reframe how you see what confidence is. Remember, confidence simply means to trust. And when you think about trust, trust is built. It's not put on. There are enough people out here putting on, right? But if you really, really want to walk and live a confident life, you must make sure that you listen to yourself. So number 1, are you listening to yourself? And when you're listening, pay attention to what you are saying to yourself and about yourself. If you don't like what you're hearing, change it. If you don't know how to change it, find someone who will help you change it. And if y'all think this good, make sure you click the link below and sign and meet me at the Fulfillment Formula Masterclass this Thursday. Number 2, do you support yourself in the same way, if not more, than you want people to support you? And lastly, number 3, in what areas am I not being honest with myself? In order for you to truly have the confidence to go for it, to go for your dreams, to go for the higher income, to go for whatever it is that you want to do, you have to trust in yourself. If you all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that anytime that I'm on, you can join me. You all have a phenomenal evening, and remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.